If I have recently met you and haven't met you in real life, yeah, I would love to know what you think, and if you want to share this out, go ahead and share this out there too. Alright, so today's topic I am going to talk about is how to hydrate without hitting one of the essentials that you actually need in your body. And this essential, a lot of people I'm sure know what this is. It makes up 75% of your body, and you literally need this for basic function. Basic function as in, you know, making sure you have good digestion, better sleep, losing belly fat, making sure, you know, you have the preconception things to make sure you have the right ingredients to make a baby, and there's certain things like that there too. And so who I am, I'm Kate, obviously, right? Why do I do this, right? Why do I talk about all these different videos on here, and why, right? So I do this because, so if you guys don't know, if you're new to watching me, I am a chiropractor, and I basically focus on a lot of things about wellness. And a lot of times wellness seems to be a very simple thing, but a lot of times people don't know those simple things. So certain things that are like how what do you call it, the most basic things aren't, what's that one hey Liz, what's that one saying, the most basic thing is not so simple? What was that one? If you guys help me out here, I forgot that line. Sometimes when you're on live, you kind of just go blank, and that's the reason why I have notes that I like kind of look at over there too. But anyways, yeah. So my goal is basically to help the brain and the body connect. That's the reason why I'm a chiropractor, making sure, you know, start from babies all the way to when they're older, pregnancy, all in that range there. But I focus on pediatric pregnancy and preconception there too. And so a lot of times when I reconnect to the body, how the brain can function better with the rest of the body, unless you put the right ingredients in there, no matter how much I help the body function, it just doesn't function as well. Does it make sense? So no matter how well your car may be, how expensive it is, how much horsepower it is, unless you put in the right fuel for it, it's not going to be doing its best. And so today I'm going to talk about the most essential thing which our body need. If you don't know this, 75% was what it's made out of, is water. So this is what I'm drinking here, water here, right? And it's not vodka. Hey. Yeah, so water actually, and don't make fun of my East Coast saying of that word. This is like one of my my East Coast, what is it, a accent? The only accent I got from the East Coast is the word water, which some people love when I say it. But anyway, talking back to the top topic there. So how do you make sure you get enough water? Because a lot of times the problem is, from a lot of people, if you know of Crystal Light, people don't like drinking water, and so that's the reason I put like Crystal Light in there, certain things in there, lemon in there too. That's the reason why, because a lot of times it's like the icky nothingness of a taste, right? And so today I'm gonna basically go over briefly and really quickly on how to make sure you don't hate drinking what you need. And so yeah. I get really sidetracked by all these different people popping up, which is a good thing, but I just get sidetracked what I'm supposed to talk about. Anyways, that's why I have notes here. Okay, so go back to the notes here. It's a problem, yeah. Basically, people hate drinking water. My brother hates drinking water. I remember seeing those little Crystal Lights that he always had when he was 16. He always poured those things in there. I'm thinking, why would you do that? Why would you put sugar into water when you are taking, I know it's girl, sugar in water, when it's sugar increases inflammation. A lot of times, I think back then we were like 16, 17, we don't really care, so that's why I drink a lot of soda, certain things like that. And so that's like an issue. Why do you think like Crystal Light, certain things like that, companies make natural flavored what is it called? Those little fluid and liquid to help you drink more water, because they obviously, everyone knows water is good for you. And so today I'm gonna talk about towards the end there how to drink more water, or not drink more water, be more hydrated, so you don't hate what you need. And so a lot of times we think, you know, we have certain things like water bottles and apps that help us make sure we drink enough water, because a lot of times what we depending on how much you weigh, you're supposed to drink an amount of water. And I was also confused about that, because a lot of times when you're, you know, weighing, what was it, like 100 pounds, then you should drink about was it half your body weight in ounces. And that's a lot of water for someone who forgets to drink water. If you know what I mean there, go ahead and type a 1 below there. If you know that when you get busy and then by the time you're about to go to sleep, you're like, oh shoot, I only drank 1 cup of water. That's me there. And I used to have really bad skin, really bad hair, and everything I was wondering why I always had dry skin. I mean, that's part of it. Another part is another issue that I also have, which I'll tell you guys later on the next video. They're a little bit too long there. I want to push it so far. But, you know, a lot of times at the end of the day, we start chugging water, which is not the greatest thing, because literally it's like a flash flood into our system. And it doesn't really hydrate us, because when we try to chug about this much of water, and then, what is it, an hour afterwards, you just pee it all out. And what good does that do, right? And that's the reason why in the previous videos I talked about gel water, how to increase that to make sure that you're hydrated. It's a slower process for that, which will basically help with reducing inflammation, and also that's a lot of times a lot of commercials that you see. How do you decrease your belly gut, or how do you decrease that gut that belly fat in front of you? Do you know there's a reason why you have that belly fat in front? So if you guys remember biology or chemistry or organic chemistry, when you have sodium is a big key thing. When you have sodium, wherever sodium goes, water follows. So if you have increased amount of sodium, which is always in our foods that we eat, processed foods, that's the reason why I'm not a key promoter for processed foods. So I eat as much whole foods as much as I can. Wherever we eat processed foods, sodium follows. So how many of us have food that we eat has a lot of sodium? If you look on the labels there, boxes, there's most of the processed foods, that's exactly where that is, right? And so when you're drinking more water throughout the day, when you're hydrated, not just water, when you're hydrated over a period of time, that is when people lose that belly gut. Crazy, right? So how do you make sure that you are hydrated? And so there's 3 things I'm going to talk about really quickly here. So how to get that in. So juicing is actually one of very good ways to make sure you're hydrated. And so juicing, especially, there's 2 types of things that happens in juicing. When you juice, there's insoluble fiber, which the stuff that comes out when you juice, and there's also something called insoluble fiber. So those 2 things can literally help you absorb faster in your digestive system there. So when you have soluble fiber, that's actually an increase, a faster rate to absorb the nutrients that you need to slow down that hydration, so it doesn't just get out of your system, you just pee it out with urine. And that's the reason why it's so good for make sure you're juicing throughout the day. And so how to go about the rule about juicing, because a lot of times you think, oh, we should just juice, so I'm just going to drink a whole bunch of apple juice, or a whole bunch of fruit juice or fruit smoothies. And a lot of times we don't want fruits as a main proponent of our juicing. So the whole rule to that is a 3-to-1 ratio. And so you want 3 or 80 to 20% ratio. So you want 3 vegetables, and then you want 1 fruit with that. So for example, that you can do cucumber, celery, and carrots, and then you add an apple to that. So 4 in that sense. So if you're looking for some way to make sure that you don't have too much of a proportion to have to off the way to absorb more hydration. You want to have that 3-1 ratio, right? 3-1, yeah, exactly. And so another way is chia seeds. 1 tablespoon for 6 ounces. I have a slob all over me now. This is all the water from the slob. Yeah, from that, so what was I saying? Yeah, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds for 6 parts of water. So when you mix that in, or if you put it in certain things like oatmeal, you're juicing or smoothies, that'll literally decrease that that absorption, so making sure that you don't just pee out all the hydration you just basically took in. And then another way to make sure you have the hydration is for a lot of times after we eat, about 2 hours afterwards, we think we get hungry. And so a lot of times that is our body kind of confusing us. It's more that you're actually more thirsty. So to make sure to help you get in that hydration so you're not chugging a lot of water is about 1 or 2 hours after you eat, just go ahead and drink water so you can actually making sure that you're more satiated, you don't feel that hungry, and then you can also help with that belly fat that a lot of people do struggle with, and that's one of the reasons for that, not the whole reason obviously. And so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that as a conclusion there. If you are one of those people that hate water, go ahead and or you know someone that hates water and do crystal like crazy, or some certain kind of like little vial things, go ahead and share that with them. So 3 different things, right, that you can easily do is go ahead and start juicing, so making sure that you're hydrated and you're not just peeing out all the hydration that you need, since you need that in 70% of your body. Chia seeds is one of them to help that decrease that increase that high absorption. And the third one is to drink water after you eat, and making sure that you're more satiated and that your brain is not confusing you with hunger instead of hydration. And those are the 3 different things, and hopefully that will help you with your hydration and you don't feel like you're have drier skin and certain things like that as our seasons continue from the fall to the winter. And I'm one of those people that get really, really dehydrated and very, very dry skin, and that's some of the ways that I use to make sure I am hydrated. All right, thank you.